The Chinese government is trying to enter into semiconductor industry through a company called BOE, Chengdongpang. And at this time, you think that the investment, new investment into semiconductor industry is a correct decision or not?
The semiconductor industry has been struggling for a long time. The first time they invested was 15 years ago in SMIC and Grace Semiconductor, two companies in Shanghai. There's an old company called Hua Hong that is now listed in Hong Kong. But these companies all, the reason that they did not become big is because they did not invest enough. No. So they become niche players. So there are always stories about another semiconductor company. What I see is that the central government in China has not been kind of decisive in terms of making a big investment. When they look to local governments like Shanghai government to do investment, you know, local governments love to do infrastructure projects, properties, okay? And that's their first priorities. So it's very difficult for me to see that they will put their own money into semiconductor. So I think that they talk about it. I think that for semiconductor, the game is very late because we have three dominant players in the world: TSMC, Micron, and Samsung. So if you want to be one of top players, we're talking about you have to fund tens of billions of dollars. It's possible, but I do not see a person in the government who's leading the charge. And anything that happens in China, there has to be somebody in the government who was leading the charge. Now, you don't see, there are plenty of people who want to do highways and properties. Why? Because there are a lot of money involved, you know. If you're in semiconductor, you don't get rich by investing in semiconductor. So that's why I don't see anybody who's leading the charge. You know, the story you have, I've been hearing stories like that for a long time. I do not see a coherent plan for semiconductor at this point. I do see like a company like Huawei. Huawei is the most successful technology company in China. Huawei is doing some investment on its own, but Huawei does not want to get into commodity semiconductor business. Huawei is much more about they want to get into like a light capex, intellectual property driven products, not really capital intensive semiconductor business. So I think that story is probably. I don't believe that China has like a big plan to take over the semiconductor industry. No, don't see that yet.
Great comment, and maybe it's a good information, I think.